Now, it's the AfroSpiritual Symposium. I'm going to have all your names documented so that 500 years coming, your offspring, your generations that will spring from you will say, Grandma's name is here. I'm not getting myself involved in anything that will be forgotten after 100 years. And every one of you were painstakingly picked by the spirits to be here. The AfroSpiritual Symposium is geared towards educating us about the African spirituality, the watered religion movement, our spiritual awareness, our upliftment. At the same time, networking, getting to meet new people, unwind, meet new environments. That is why the Afro Symposium is not going to be, oh, it has to be in Nigeria alone. We're looking at moving from one country to another. And by the grace of our ancestors and the gods of the land, and to Jesus Christ, those that believe in Jesus Christ. Some of you, till you leave the surface of this earth, the provision that will take you from one country to another for each symposium we have, the Spirit will provide it. Hopefully next year, we might do it in this country. Lady B might host us. We'll go to Kenya. Even at then, no worry, money go don't come. I go even sponsor like 10 people go. I share. 10 people go. There is a wave coming and a lot of you know, and that's why you are here. On the internet, even big pastors are already doing about me. When I was coming, you saw that man, that young boy that was screaming on him. I thought he wanted to sell pillow. I know answer. I just said, I know the buy. He said, no sir, I'm following your Facebook. You are this, you did this. And I did a incantation when I drove. I said, you will not sell this pillow along this road more than 1 or 2 months. I don't say things when I'm moved and those words come back. No. The boy that helped us get those goats, see the big phone, is it the guy that came and said, sir, I don't have phone. I said, don't worry. The phone you will use, you will not be able to buy. If you even think about the phone, you will not even think of buying such a phone. You have helped me. Somebody will walk into this beach, pick you out. Imagine, Kewe is now traveling around Nigeria. Kewe told you that, sir, man, I can tell you in 6 months' time, I don't be big boy for Lagos. But Kewe was a tout that, Kewe that assisted us, was a tout on the beach. I gave him 3 months. See how it be now. And I told him, I said it, more than 2 months, not less than 2 months, your life will change. So the Afro Symposium is geared towards reestablishing the ancient African spirituality. Some of you always hear ancient African spirituality. You hear the Kemetic spirituality. How many of you know what is called Kemetic spirituality or Kemet, the word Kemet?
You are referring to the ancient Egyptian.
Okay, beautiful.
The inception and how they connect with the other spirits, with the ancestors within the African hemisphere.
Okay, good. So that's Kemet.
There are deities as well.
So when you hear the word Kemet, we're talking about the ancient Egyptians. Let's not be carried away with the word Egypt. Egypt was not the original name. Good. So I'm going to use some words that you guys are familiar with. Like Anubis, you guys are familiar with that. Egypt, Nigeria, Africa, and the rest of. But those were not their original names. So that is something about the Afro what? Symposium. The origin of our ancestors. Everywhere on the internet, our ancestors, ancestral powers. Where did these people that they call ancestors? Where is that the origin of our ancestors? Is it your great-great-grandfather? Is that where the ancestral hierarchy ended? No. Who are your true ancestors? It's not Uzih alone. Uzih is the one I know. Uzih is the one I know. That's where the oral tradition could take me to. And so, some of you who are here that all you know is your great-grandfather, that's the end. It go hard though. I was going into a very dangerous journey to invoke Uzih and give me up to the 7th, the names of the ancestors. It was dire. My father said, don't try that nonsense again. Except you want to go and meet them so you can finally see them. They want you to know and end with Uzih, and that's the end. Because he tried it. Even my own grandfather does not know the name of his own great-grandfather. I called my grandfather. I said, please, where was your grandfather or great-grandfather buried? He said, do I even know them? That may be the case of Oga Michael's children, people that are abroad. You say, your great-grandfather went to Ukani. Not Ukani that they call her. Ukani means he didn't stay home. So now when they abroad, they do chin. You think you are doing good, you are enjoying yourself. No? While we were driving, I told you something. While we were coming, we were listening to that, I told you something. If all you think about is the now, how to gratify yourself, the gratification you feel for today, you'll be setting a foundation for tomorrow that will not be strong enough to hold your children. So when I made a statement, I'd rather train my children now and spoil my grandchildren and spoil my children now and train my grandchildren. Come home. There is no wish. The truth is there's no wish anywhere. People died in the hands of. You say, okay, what did they talk? My uncle and wish kill and the woman confess. Because your uncle that died already believed that the witch can kill him. So it was just a manifestation of the energy he had put out. Not be the same so-called where they go, not be the same person. This person not getting wish for a village. But the level of energy you put out is what you get. Was that not what you say? The energy, what you put out is what is a replication of. Okay, now because of the noise, now we can open the door. Yeah, I'm gonna just open now. If not, the noise is too much. Open the door. Open now, guy. Open and finish. The noise is too much. So who are truly your ancestors? Your ancestor is not sir. What's your great grandfather's name? Aro. He's not just your ancestors. Just not be there end. You move back. You might even be a descendant of that woman, that African woman they carry go abroad when you say get big girl, she'll come that they wash. Abi? You might be related to her. You might be related to, what do you call him? What's the name? You might be from the same lineage with Morgan Freeman. You might be related to Barack Obama. If you trace your ancestry back, are you guys aware that in Nigeria is not, we went to Nigeria, this is not our land. We were migrating down. We met water, we can't stop. That was what happened to us. Benin Empire, all of them. That was not where we migrate, we built for there. The Nok Empire in the northern part, they came from Angola, up, down. They couldn't go further because they were used to clay and the rest of. That was the only suitable way they can what. We have the Igboku people there. They came from Egypt. They were, I call them, it's not the only It's not the whole of Igbo. That's Igboku. So our ancestors did not just say, now my land be this. No. This land we are living was a virgin land. Nobody had ever touched it. So our ancestors were those who actually literally migrated down. What caused the migration? If I may ask, the expansion, is it Akule Bularabi? Akule Bula, right? The expansion of the African tribe that we have, the Igbos, was it war that scattered them? Some historian will tell you it was war that scattered. No. There was never a migration within the context of the African traditional community setting that was propelled by war. War, fighting, was introduced to us by external forces that were trying to colonize us. Colonization did not start in 1960 that you guys we gained independence. It was even before Christ was born, before Prophet Muhammad was born. We were doing a research work and we discovered that the first ever molded deity on earth that men actually bow to worship was the carving of a cow, right? A cow was the first idol, that a graven image that people worship, was cow. By the African community, the Kemet, ancient. If anybody tell you, say, the white people, they came from Africa, they migrated because of the weather, their skin changed, or there. Where you dey? Why your skin never change? Because as we are seated here, there are forces that are watching Uzih. This boy is revealing too much. The whites are, in Kemetic research, failed experiment. You don't know? I'm not trying to bring them down. The whites were failed experiment. Mistake. No, failed. There's a difference between mistake and failed experiments. So are you surprised? No, they actually failed experiments. There are evidence to that. When man was to be created, man was created in a physical representation of God, which was black darkness. That was the original creation of man, black. And this creation was by 3 deities: Anu, Amun, Enki. The Amun is the one you guys call Amen. But you know what happened? Something happened. They were the scientists that did it. They were on an errand. God, the creator of the force of the universe, did not use his hand to mold man from clay. It's like tomorrow now, all these beats will come alive and say, Uzih created us. No. I can easily give Candy an instruction. Carry out this. Candy carry out that instruction on whose authority? That was the authority of those 3 deities that made man. But something happened. Those deities, because the God energy does not have any physical representation, but it's like an energy of knowledge and wisdom was given to those 3 deities that made man. So they represent the original true image of God. The consciousness of God was what those 3 deities had, which was made. So mankind was like a physical manifestation of God. But those 3 deities were the messengers that did it. So when they saw the beauty, the intellect embedded in man, they felt jealous. Those are part of things that happen in the Bible. It's after God made man and Satan felt jealous. No, those 2 felt jealous. You see, these people they are too powerful. Oh. They knew that the black man that was created had so much potential that they would become one with them. They actually one with them, but they didn't know, because they are like external force. It's just like my laptop now. My laptop have every information that I created in it. It's like a representative of me. Then one day the laptop started acting 100% like me. I said, I don't understand. Meaning, he's going to now have his own followers, start his own religion, do a lot of things. Okay, plug it, unplug. And then one knew they were messengers. They cannot take the place of true energy that gave them the permission to create. Went and sneak and told man what? You are powerful. Look at what you have inside of you. If you activate it, look at what will happen. And the moment it was activated, they have not been able to harness the full authority. The one that revealed the secret of man, the Romans and the Mesopotamia, turned him to be the what? Evil one, Satan. Whereas he was the one that said, no, the consciousness of God wants you to vibrate. But why didn't the consciousness of God tell the remaining two, no, this is how I want it? No, because the consciousness of God is both good and evil. So he is being amused by the happenings. And the Bible said, and God what? Rested. It was after the creation of man that the consciousness of him went overboard to wash. So what happened? The laboratory where man was created and then closed, it drove them out. So that the mortality in them, they can perish. And look at what happened. Whenever a man dies, the consciousness of God in that man becomes a spirit, a light, a spirit, a full spirit, a deity, and could take any form he wants, because then he can decide to rebuild himself. Madam, this is not your first time on earth. Now that was it your second time. It will never be your last time. But that knowledge of who you were is hidden from you. Because if you understand that knowledge, you are eager to leave and come back with that full consciousness and design what you will be. That is why it is said, your destiny is in your own hands. But why don't you have the knowledge to design it the way you want? So some of us live and die without purpose. Not that we didn't have a purpose, we have a purpose. Lack of that consciousness. Not be white man teach me that they talk. Oh, even our ancestors had this knowledge. I need remote control. I want this TV on. So your ancestors did not start from the Mesopotamian. Not from the Kemet. Not from Rome. Not from Greek. But from what the Bible called the Garden of Eden. And that garden is on earth here. Is there a definite location? When they find out that the population of man was increasing, they just scatter it and they went to a realm that you cannot see them. And you see those three forces? They exist. Those three forces are in the Dead Scroll. They are in the Kemetic work. They are hidden in the Mesopotamian scripts. It was what the Romans translated to be what? God, the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. I'm more than 4,000 years old. More than Christianity. There is a noise coming from somewhere. Who? Who is that? Lock. We are in a class, just. So I'm older than it. So, your ancestors is back more than 14,000 years ago. You can't have conversation here. You can't have conversation. Go to the kitchen. So the origin of your ancestor, you cannot just have this. That there is a scroll, there is a tablet that narrated how they came. Don't try to know where did it belong, where did it start. It was documented. And those tablets were not 4,000 years. They were over 10,000 years old. How many of you know what's called carbon dating? How many of you know what's called carbon dating? Eh? Now, only one person know carbon dating for you. Carbon dating is trying to define an object. So when you old die today, 1,000 years come, if you see your bone, they will tell you how old you were when you died, what caused your death and everything. Accurately. So your ancestor is not this. So sometimes that's why in the watered religion, God is referred to as what? Ancient what? Spirits. Ancient spirits. Spirits, the combination of millions of spirits that made what? God possible. Who is a Christian here? Who is a Muslim? You are a Christian. You are a Muslim. The religion was created to stop you from what? Venturing further. Forget any other thing. Just believe. So like I said, you guys are hearing this story for the first time. It's an experiment. That was how it was. And so when the black man, two of them were chased out, they decided to chase man. They decided to make another experiment. But when they did it, they couldn't get it correct. It became pale. The weather was not favorable to them. And they transported them to the mountains. Yes. To the mountain of Caucasus, abi? That was where they could survive. There's no amount of technology you want to do and check today. The black man brain is more powerful than the white man brain. But guess what? Why is it that majority of us don't live to that potential of that power we have? It's the same distortion from creation. Hidden knowledge. Out of envy that this black, we couldn't get this species correct that we can control, they allow them have access to a certain part of their brain of curiosity. So the white man have that brain of curiosity. So you see a white man wants to go and shake the tongue of a lion. The black man does not have that curiosity. The black man is scared. So the mindset, our people talk is if you won't hide anything from black man, hide them for book. You don't have that curiosity. So when you go to the white man's land, we have a lot of ancestors that are being reverend. We have multiple gods, goddesses. Go to their temples, see their faces. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, all of them. But here, even Emeka Ojukwu is forgotten already. If it were to be American, his statue for that day for the center of Enugu or somewhere Abuja. Till today, a man that was #1 slave master had a runabout name after him. The black community in America have to move. That this symbol does not signify good. This man was killing us. Yaradua is gone. Just that's the end. If I call your papa name for internet now, nobody will. Before I start, write Uzih. Computer will Google will only give you maybe the word UZI. Now one footballer they bear the name, one finish. They don't know. And I can tell you, 80% of you are not even interested. I want to just be a nurse, a teacher, a fashion designer, and that's the end. Pursue to have more followers on TikTok and that's the end. No. Can my name be written in the book of life? Prophetess, I go shock you. The book of life. Where is the book of life? According to your Bible. In heaven.
So the Bible says.
The book of life is history. Will your name be? It's actually history. But they didn't tell you. The book of life. When you die, will your name be written? They say many were called, but few were easy. Where are the few? Abraham Lincoln. Those that wrote their name in the book of life, they went to jail from Africa. Why must African breed have to suffer? That was the difference between the black man and the white man. They have what I said, but we don't have it. You know what we have here? Live, gingerly, die, gingerly, buried. So that your name will not be written in the book of life. There is nowhere you are dying to you will stand. And the check is your name written in the book of life. No way. The book of life is history. So when you die and leave this world, your ancestors stand. The controllers of mankind, the ancient waters itself, the ancient spirit stand. Is his name written in the book of life? He said, no, okay, he's a slave, go. Is his name written? I said, yes, so his name is written. What did he do? He said, it was the one that fought that war that brought about 3 million people that died. He said, eh? Oh yeah, elevate him. He's elevated. Why is it some people's image pop up in the old and their face look like a celebrity on earth? There was something happened that made their picture taken by the white man. And they came back to earth. Check, all of them, they are always ending up to become celebrity. Me, I'm not even interested in coming back to this world. I'm okay going back and staying there. But I will be worshipped here. They will raise it. They will raise a temple in my name. You think Anubis want to come back? You think, oh yeah, Shango want to come to this earth? This is below his status. He has risen to a status. He can't mingle with men again. Because his name is already written in the book of life. The fight between me and Oloku, because if guy don't know, say, my worshippers go plenty. The Africans we already have more than 2,000 gods. Why is Ra number one? Because Ra have more worshippers. So your ancestors, is not the name you know. It's from the time of creation. So the origin, I just spoke about the origin of what? Your ancestors. Now, Kemetic spirituality. What is the Kemetic spirituality? The Kemetic spirituality is the foundation for the access into God. When you hear the word access into God, is access into what? Spirituality. Because God is what? Spirit. And those who worship him must worship him in what? Not us the quote Bible. It's not Bible I'm quoting you. Now my ancestors write down. Now your Roman people are chief farm.
I'm only be the face for you.
Because I will only be Christian for you.
I forgot call my name, sorry.
You know I use the word? No. Even in the water religion, we have prophetess.
I am one. I'm a water prophetess.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So it's just that some people don't go school for year. When they hear prophetess, they are Christianity straight. So,
I'm a traditional prophetess.
good. So now me say I'm not going to face you again. Who be Christian for year? Beg me person raise hand. Okay, you okay? Now she I go to face now. So The Kemetic spirituality is the foundation, access into spirituality. And those who embrace the Kemetic spirituality, look at their life, is far better than those that embrace what? Amadioha spirituality, the Igbo spirituality, the Yoruba spirituality, the Yoruba spirituality. Because what we have, what we call the Igbo spirituality, what we call the Igbo spirituality, the Hausa spirituality, the Edo man spirituality, the Benin spirituality, is the adulterated original African spirituality. Because the original African spirituality does not tell you to carry fowl and goat and slaughter and drop them anyhow. We will be doing blood sacrifice tomorrow. It was once a year that blood were made. And every time that blood sacrifice were made in the ancient time, it is either there is an unexpected favor that befell the land, or a war came and they went to war and they succeeded, they offered blood sacrifice. The moment everything was good, they only wait till the end of the year to offer grain and blood sacrifice. And blood sacrifice were not just offered to any deity. There were deities and hierarchy that accept only blood. And those deities were synonymous with earth, which is either Ra. On our way, come and serve water children. Come and carry blood. We are doing blood sacrifice by the beach. But I didn't do it. Well, you know, we climb, when we come. I tell you, I say, I know they caught by the beach. Let me go a platform higher from the distance up there, do, and then we'll come out. The reason I just want the ancient waters to witness what I'm doing. We are supposed to do that thing outside the beach. My own was done outside the beach. We are doing almost 3 different rituals tomorrow. Privately for him, general for my family and all of you, those that believe. And I'll be officially declaring myself a god tomorrow. Even the women I made available, if they are not available, I will still do it. Some of you will see the sight of it, and you will look up in tears to say, thank God I was alive to witness this. Because your children will talk about it. This is the fear. Where am I going when I leave here? So you know what they did? They gave you a flat screen TV. The luxury we enjoy here in Africa, some whites don't enjoy it. They produce the luxury and export it to us. They take our raw material, produce the luxury, and send it to us. But look at what? Even the logo of their businesses, they take it from us. They understand. The white man is not fighting the black man. Note this. The white man is not fighting because he has defeated you many years ago. The white man is fighting themselves. So you see, JP Morgan house is against another house who will take the financial giant stand of the American, who will stand as the most powerful pharmaceutical company in the world. So Johnson & Johnson is fighting. Pfizer is fighting. They are fighting themselves. They are not fighting us. So what do? One will create HIV/AIDS. One will create Ebola so that they can increase. So one of the most biggest dark sector on earth is a pharmaceutical company. That's where you see the negative part of Uzih. They made us understand that the devil have horn, black. Hates the devil. But there is a spiritual law that what you hate gains more power. Right? What you actually hate gains more power. Both of you are married. Both of you are married. Try and remember the times you had misunderstanding and quarrel. The one that have the highest anger is boiling, while the other one seems to be what? Shining and enjoying the day more than you, depressed going down. The one that receives negative gains more power. Do you think Bobrisky will come back from the prison ashamed? A hero. And times are coming that he will say, in the quest of men dressing like women, I even went to jail for it. He not go talk saying at night I can't go to jail. The man stood for something, was sent into the dark room for more than 20 years. And why was his entrance triumphant, like saying, like Jesus? Because the story of Jesus, the triumphant entrance, was twisted from the beginning instead of it to be the end. Study very well. It was in the triumphant entrance. He was coming into Jerusalem. He was actually arrested, crucified, not on a mountain, but in a valley. And his name was Joshua. Alongside his disciples were killed. There is evidence to that. The bones were there. The era was there. The Jesus that you know was never crucified. Prophet Muhammad knew that. And he was careful enough. Who told him the story? The only man that have access to the library where it was written, Bilal, was a slave from Ethiopia. Ethiopia was the house of the original African spirituality that was stored. Because after the library was first destroyed in Kemet and the Alexandrian library was established, many first history entered the Alexandrian library. History tells you that it was burned down by rivalry. The Alexandrian library was burned down by devotee of the African Kemetic spirituality. The tearing down of our culture is as a result of when women were allowed to rule. Some women will not like me where I'm going. But guess what? Being a custodian of such a powerful spirituality, you have sacrifice to make. And sometimes your body is stolen, destroyed, without any human trace. That's the sacrifice. Cleopatra's body can never be discovered on earth because she was the only woman that assumed the Kemetic spirituality. The first female pharaoh in Egypt. How was the story? How did he go? Sleeping around, slept with this, slept with that, moved this thing, tore down his head. How can the headquarters of Egypt be taken and they built it in what's the name of the community? Is it the boundary between Africa and Europe? What's the name of that community? Alexandria. You see, the nation is still there. It was hand built now. Alexandria does not exist. It was like a camp that was later that became. And the story went that she poisoned herself. It was okay for Cleopatra to become a priestess of Isis and allow the younger brother to rule, but he not agree. We all know that in ancient times, as I am now, when I become too powerful, I wouldn't want any of my child to marry an outsider. They marry themselves. Because with an outsider, there is the lineage, there is a spy can easily come in. So it was, let me tell you something about African spirituality. You know what's called gold? Do you wonder why African is so synonymous with gold? It's to tell you that in African spirituality, it is the survivor of the fittest. So there were things that were made for the commoners, the rich, the famous, the priests, the powerful men. As a poor man in the community, you want your son to marry somebody of high class. But as a man of a high class, if there is no one greater than you, your children marry themselves. It was permissible. So also in polygamy, poor men were not permitted to marry more than one. Not only the rich, the priests, the kings. So the Kemetic spirituality was the gateway to what? How does it entail? The recognition of spirits that have existed before us. Why do we need to recognize those spirits before us? Because we bear a mortal body that has a kind of microchip, like I said, it's called will. Do you know what makes you weaker as a person? There's a microchip that is in you as a person. You don't know? Doctor, you don't know? Who can tell me the microchip? I just call her now. What's in the microchip? Your mobile phone. What do you need to have there for you to be able to communicate effectively? A SIM card. Good. No, you cannot. How do you have access to data? So if you don't have Wi-Fi, uncle, your SIM card is the only device you can effectively communicate. So Wi-Fi is an alternative to communication. No, there's no SIM card in Wi-Fi. No, these are Nigerian brothers and sisters. When they hear Wi-Fi, they talk about the device.
No, the device is just a microprocessor.
They don't know. Okay. Wi-Fi is actually a network. It's like wireless system. So when you hear the Wi-Fi, it's not a device. So that device, what you call Wi-Fi device, is the same thing like the mobile phone. So the what you call Wi-Fi is actually a hotspot, not a Wi-Fi. It's called a hotspot. Good. So now, for your mobile phone to communicate effectively, you need a SIM card, because that SIM card is what the tower communicates with. So when the tower communicates with that, it registers the IME of that mobile phone and stop communicating with that SIM card once in a while with the SIM card, but oftentimes with the I. That is what they use in tracking. If you like, you remove your SIM card, as far as your phone is on, you use that IM to track you. But for you to have seamless communication, you need what? A SIM card. For you to be able to communicate with your higher self, which is the God, you need that SIM card. What is that SIM card? Will. Say we gave man dominion over all. Say, but we gave them something which is what? Will. To decide, your will, your decision.
Willpower, right?
Yes. Your will. But guess what? Do you know the most difficult thing about will? Will is the most powerful device you have inside of you. Will is the reason why you are here. Will is why Bros is married to Auntie. Will is why they are in love. My sister could have been the wife of a president if she didn't marry my brother here. My brother could be the father of a president if he had married this young girl. But how would she know if she would be the first lady? She doesn't know. So she has to have what? Make a decision. You get it now? Every decision, there is a consequence. But your will to make that decision, when you decide to take that will, abuse it, it will not be able to communicate with the source where the energy comes from. You end up getting married to somebody, at the end of the day, give birth to children, die, and be buried. Why those who understand the power of that will maintain their SIM card, communicate with the tower. At the end of the day, communication goes on, no interruption. So the most difficult thing so far, how do I connect my will to the tower? How do I connect my SIM card to the tower? One is to have the will. The other is to register and connect it with your names. The other is to do what? Load recharge card. Some of you have the will. You don't want to load recharge card. You want to what? Communicate. Is that possible? For you to seamlessly communicate, you have to load recharge card. And sometimes in your life, you have to buy 5,000 naira recharge card, or that conversation cannot work. Some of you walk to meet me, and you want to load 100 naira in your SIM card and talk to me for 2 days. Is that possible?
No.
That's why I tell you guys that in the watered religion, spirituality and science are not enemies. And Jesus Christ said, I try to explain the things of the spirit to you in physical, but you don't understand. What if I transcend to the next and I tell you that for you to be able to make money, kill your father and kill your mother? Now you're to arrest them. But let me tell you how you kill your father and kill your mother and make money out of it. Literally, they will not die. But because your mother did not fulfill purpose, was stolen of his knowledge, she died the day she was born. But her blood is still intact. And that's what I told you guys some week ago. Send them money and use what they could not use. It's useless. They will die and be buried, and it's useless. And they will die and go back there and become a slave. But Hebrew mothers knew, I cannot achieve, but if I can sacrifice my blood, when I transcend to that realm and my children worship me, I'll be a goddess that men will talk about. And they sacrifice her life. And Hebrew can never die. That name can never die for ages. Never. Except Uroboland ceased to exist. What Benedict do for me? I go use them. And the man knew. And the man is sad and happy. He told my wife, I was to do what my son is doing. He knew. He knew. And he was told not to tell any of his child on what to do. He just met me in less than 2 years. And I made him stop going to church without forcing him. I made him start praying to his ancestors. Does he pay my father? He wishes all his children follow my ways. But he has been warned not to tell anyone. He wishes I tell the children and prove them wrong. But I've been asked not to. They will have to discover themselves. Because even with your mobile phone in your hand and a SIM card in it and a lot of airtime loaded in it, if you still don't understand how to operate it, you will not be able to make call. It becomes like my grandmother who will finish making call and drop the phone and pick up the phone and call, and the girl will speak. He will walk to somebody else. Now, my picky, I won't come, and another girl they talk. Say, Mama, your credit don't finish. My grandma will make call and leave the phone there. The credit to people will be talking, does not know how to what. Told my grandfather, few weeks too. I said, your people won't kill you, they won't die. You don't want to drive car? Go back to your ancestors and say, hey, we've given our life to Jesus Christ. I said, okay, no wahala. 1 week later, I got out the sickle. Pour libation. Hey, my son. All those things. Jesus has given his life to us. Don't worry. Let me tell you something. Some of you will die. And when you get there, you will see your ancestor coming with bow to you. Your ancestor says, why are you serving me? He said, don't worry. I could not fulfill purpose. And some of us will be so ashamed to allow our ancestors to serve us. We will not come back to this earth. We will not become priests to start serving them. As we start serving them, and they carry boat to serve another person, and they call like their name, Uzih, this is for you. The boat will break, and they jump to the next step. Say, what happened? I will turn. Say, one of my sons just worshiped me. They don't give that knowledge to Africa. Even in Mexico, they have to steal it when they encounter the whites. To steal it. The Caucasians, they stole it. We don't know. And so you know what he said? Our ancestors are evil. Don't worship. Don't raise a graven image. But when you go to the Catholic Church, graven image is everywhere. If the artifacts of Africa are so precious, why would the whites bury the original molding of our ancestors and bury it? Yet they have the mask of Benin displayed. Because when they took the mask, they invoked the spirits, bottled it, and put an empty marks there for you. There are families you cannot touch in this world. J.P. Morgan, the Dow Jones, them. You can't touch them. They will use it for sacrifice. There are American families that literally use human beings for blood sacrifice every year for the year. There are people that sit down and decide what should go up, which company should make it or not. Let me tell you something. As I begin to grow and grow and grow, and the followers increases, only my wife's close to me will know, and I will be approached. Okay, you've gotten to a certain level. What are you willing to do? It's either you do this or you just leave this earth. They're not even called TB Joshua for fun. They fly, come meet them. Shoes, you leave this earth in peace and be remembered. Or everything around you crumbles down. Go and off your phone totally. Off. Okay, off. Don't worry, go and sit down. You go off for now. Sit down. You think TPI will tell you? You don't boy see alive because he doesn't care. Let me just continue with the message I know. But the man was not going deep. The man was revealing events. He had access to the spiritual. Then all of a sudden, he started going to the waters for sacrifice. Started going to the... Okay. This man is going foul here. Let's take him. And those that came to take him, they are not your black brothers. So they are your white brothers. They are your white counterparts. Now then fly, come. Alpha, what are you doing? Who told you they are not watching us? Is it only me? Do you know why they cannot come and meet me? When they open my profile and see my picture, open Billy Cassin profile and see his picture, and they do their invocation, and will disappear. I don't understand. And they go back. But you know what they do? They will block my network from accessing. They will block me from meeting the right people. They know you. To your spirituality, they know you. Shut up your mouth. You are using a mobile phone. They know you to your spirituality. They listen to your conversation, how you talk. And this one is useless. They listen to your conversation. They know how you talk and reason. I say, okay, this person is a gold. Let's monitor. They started monitoring me from when I was very, very young. Or, Manu, you remember? Cable Point. I tell mommy about say, you get one white company, when one give me one contract. Mommy must remember, the priest must remember this, you may not remember. Then I had access to the email and the rest of. It was a genuine company. It was later, after I was in the university, I discovered that mail and I traced it back. It was a genuine company that contacted me, a boy of less than 17 years. Because that was the period I started using Samsung mobile phone. It was just 2 years after I started using Samsung mobile phone. They've listened to me talk to my mother. They've listened to me talk to Douglas Willers in America. And Douglas Willers told my pastor, make him a pastor. Pastor said, he has not done it. He said, make him a pastor. In history, I'm supposed to be the youngest pastor in the Church of Christ that never undergo any form of pastoral training. And my first topic was the match. I questioned every dogma of Christianity on the altar. And they wanted to stop me. The one said, leave him, let him speak. Those who held Christianity, the Pentecostal, they are the third degree members of the Masonic Temple. The founder of the Watchtower is a 33rd degree member. Deeper Life Bible Church is a 33rd degree member. The Redeemed Christian Church, they go watch and go post them. Let them prove themselves wrong. He's a member of the Baphomets. Winners Chapel, David Oyedepo, is a member of the Masonic movement. From the triangle representation of the distorted African spirituality that is prescribed for every single church of the Winners Chapel, King the oval eye of Horus, which is the dome, the covenant dome. Go and check the architectural design. Because why would Papa, yes, my Papa, Ayo, is it Enoch Adeboye, visit me in the dream and said, what are you doing in my territory? Why are you trying to save those I have captured? Why would you use the word save? And he sent a pastor after me in the dream. My wife was part of those that saved and scattered them. And I told them, the Ajah belong to me. I own Ajah. How can an Isoko man walk into a palace in Ajah and the chiefs, Kabi Esio? My car is spoiled. Kabi Esio, chief. Older men have called me Kabi. They call me Kabi Esi in Lagos. Yes. Down to Lekki phase 1, Kabi Esi. Kabi Esi. People literally see me and call me Kabi Esi. One of the respected female chief in Ajah saw me and gave me this. It was hers. I'm not worthy of wearing this. I can't wear this. Gave one bead to my wife. Say, give it to Lolo. Olori was what he called the Olori. So give them to Olori. Why? There are times, every time you talk about wealth and attraction, the African spirituality is about wealth. It's always about it's wealth and spirituality. Please don't be confused. It's wealth and spirituality. See, there was never a time 4,000 years ago that there were poor men in the street of Africa. Even men who decide not to work will still eat. Slaves were not the people that built the pyramid. They were paid fully. Slaves cannot build the pyramid. People that built the pyramid were men who went to school, studied for years, and start building. Papa cannot build it. Or they said it's slave. I built. It's like saying you go, he say you go, Ajegu, they go pack boys. If you carry brick and family, they will build this house. Go to Egypt and see temples. Are you normal? An ordinary, even the white men say, we cannot fathom how did they build this? Because then, our ancestors, 4,000 years ago, can you compare your brain to their brain? They were using more than 50% of their brain, 100%. Do you know that we are in an era whereby common sense and reason in our brain, our civilization is now declining. We are becoming foolish. Even the way we are dressed now, if our ancestors 3,000 years ago come, they will be laughing at you. Let me tell you how they dress. You'll be surprised. They were dressed like me. Flow gown. The women were wearing clothes like this. Their cleavage like this, round the neck, down flow, white. With gold adorned. How come we left there? Now, automatically, Jean begin to wear leaf for Igbo land and animal skin. I don't understand from that side. Can the ancestors come begin to tie this thing? How could? Why I don't stand up past this thing? How could a race that started making clothes white from papayas now start wearing papayas as an original this thing. I told somebody and he was surprised until I went online, searched, and the video came out. We speak broken language. That was not our language. The white man gave us that language. When we learned their English, it was more beautiful in our tongue. We speak better English than the European. To an extent, there was a story that when an African king, a chief from Zimbabwe, was speaking English, they have to bring another white man to interpret the English for the white. Because the diction was so perfect. It was so sweet. Go and listen to. Give me the remote control. Let me play something for you guys. You will be surprised.
If civil war comes, and I do think it is imminent, you're quite right. It will for us be the price of freedom.
That's an Igbo man. No arrow as Leo.
Our people here have for a long time been prepared for this eventuality, and I am confident of their readiness. I think that when it does come, the people on the other side would be surprised as to what they're going to get. And I'm confident that it will not last long.
Now, this is an Igbo man. If you play this one, same tonation of English. Now let me play an Hausa man for you. Here, you note the speech, Abi? Now listen to the Yakub go on. Tonation.
In good faith, Colonel Effie.
That's an African, a white man talking.
Lay down their arms. Now, is this going to be enough to end the fighting? Are you confident that federal troops will deal gently with the defeated?
I'm absolutely confident and sure of that, as I'm sure of myself.
Are you hearing?
This operational conduct was given to the troops almost at the very beginning of the operations.
Are you hearing the language?
This has been explained to them right from the beginning, from their recruit training, right in the very moment.
At this time when Nigerians were speaking like this, the South African does not know how to speak English. Yes. There were only 3 countries that could speak English very properly between 1950 to 1970 was Nigeria. Sometimes I even try to talk like them. Nigeria, Zimbabwe, Liberia. Ghana have to travel down to Nigeria to learn English and back. And the only people that could speak English properly were the intellect, people of them, Kwame Nkrumah, that traveled abroad to go and study. So are we declining or we are progressing? So you know what they did? They gave us every most beautiful thing. But I said to myself, I will enjoy the beautiful thing and get hold of it. It's not the African man that went to take white men to serve. No. Decide not to walk. We still eat. Slaves were not the people that built the pyramid. They were paid fully. Slaves cannot build the pyramid. People that built the pyramid were men who went to school, studied for years, and start building. Papa cannot build it. But they said it's slave. I build. It's like saying you say you go, Ajegu, they go pack boys. If you carry big apartment, they will build this house. Go to Egypt and see temples. Are you normal? An ordinary, even the white men say, we cannot fathom how did they build this. Because then, our ancestors, 4,000 years ago, Can you compare your brain to their brain? They were using more than 50% of their brain, 100%. Do you know that we are in an era whereby common sense and reasoning in our brain, our spiritual is now declining. We are becoming foolish. Even the way we are dressed now, if our ancestors 3,000 years ago come, they will be laughing at you. Let me tell you how they dress. You'll be surprised. They are dressed like me. Flow, right? Down. The women were wearing clothes like this. Their cleavage like this, round the neck, down flow, white, with gold adorned. How come we left there? Now, man, your job begin to wear leaf for Igbo land and animal skin. I don't understand from that side. Can the ancestor come begin to tie this thing? How could? I don't stand up past this thing.
And get them, friend.
How could a race that started making clothes white from papayas now start wearing papayas as an original design? I told somebody and he was surprised until I went online, search, and the video came out. We speak broken language. That was not our language. The white man gave us that language. When we learned their English, it was more beautiful in our tongue. We speak better English than the European. To an extent, there was a story that when an African king, a chief from Zimbabwe, was speaking English, they have to bring another white man to interpret the English for the white. Because the diction was so perfect. It was so sweet. Go and listen to. Give me the remote control. Let me play something for you guys. You'll be surprised. And then listen to a white man today. I want you guys to hear how Nigerians used to speak English. Trying to turn them to slaves is not the only thing. You lure them just as they lured us. The moment they see that we've turned our face back to our ancestor, yet we use iPhone 13 Pro Max to do that, there is war. Do you know the war that will come? It has started. They will now start cutting inflow of technology to us, which will now what? Propel us to do what? To produce. They cut inflow of technology to the Biafrans, and they made their own guns, their own machine guns, their own plane. That they are more powerful. But just like the civil war in Nigeria, Biafra was defeated because of a mole in-house. The average African man will sell his brother for money. The average African man, what's the time? 9. Okay, good. Let me try and round up fast before we go to you guys. Food already now made their eats then. Good. What? So that's the what? The Kemetic spirituality is the reverence of our ancestors and some deities that are synonymous with the Kemetic spirituality, which involve Anubis, Ra, Mat, and the rest of. When you hear this, let me show you. Kemetic deities. You will know what I'm saying. Let me just type Kemetic. You will see the images of what you will be seeing. Kemet, or let me just put Kemet. Kemet. You will see what will appear. Are you seeing? The black African origin of ancient Egypt. You can see this. These are what? Kemets. These were your ancestors. This is us. This is us. You see? Uzih Ben. What does Uzih Ben do for you? Okay, good. You see? Look. This is white I was telling you. This is how we were dressed. So how come we left here stand wearing leaves? Leaves. See, the Kemetic spiritual system. I want you guys to watch this at your own time. My wife, boyfriend. Watch this. Watch this particular one. Watch this. Eh? Watch this. Let me round up, then you guys can watch this. Let me round up so you can watch that. So that's what? The Kemetic spirituality. Then ancestral spirits and power. Let me rush this. What are ancestral spirits? Ancestral spirits are what? The energies of your ancestors that are dead. What are ancestral powers? The ancestral powers is the activities they got themselves into that is currently affecting your life. Because you are spirits that were born into through their lineage. You have to vibrate within the spirituality and covenants they've established before they left. Hence, there are some certain activities that will be happening in your life that are as a result of the covenants that have been made. And until you recognize those covenants, reestablish a new covenant, or remodel it, you will continue to follow a system that is no longer valuable in these modern times. What covenant am I trying to change? It's not Uzih's covenant. It's the covenant of Ra. It's the covenant of Mat. It's the covenant of Isis. Anubis. All of those are the covenants I want to reenact. This time around, I want to tell them that those times are gone. Now we are now the era of what? Technology. Let's re-edit these covenants. So that the whites will be on queue to get the Nigerian visa. They will be on queue so that your children's children, so that glory will stand in the night over the roof of one of her offspring, I said. Good. That is it. Water spirituality. Today we are doing water ritual. Before then, questions and answer. Then I play this for you guys. Is that okay? Good. So please, okay, I have my water here. Now, for those of you who are going to be interested in this, you have nothing much to do. What is water rituals? I will teach you guys before we embark on it. One of the most powerful rituals among all rituals that our ancestors practiced, even from the time of the Kemet down to today, is the water ritual. It was not hygiene alone that your grandmother will wake up in the morning, will not use toothbrush. I do that thing well. I make my teeth not clean today. Just carry water, put for mouth. Remaining water, they will now do it on their face like this. Twa. Some they will just throw the water for ground. They understand that when you went to bed to sleep in the night, you died. You literally died. But you know what woke you up? It was the water in your house. It was the water that was not dry in your body. Woke you up. So when they woke up, my grandmother said, Ezi mevrero kireno, re wori towe. Ezi mevrero kireno, re wori towe. Jajo ma wasyo izeba, role givero yoye. Ezi mevrero kireno, re wori towe. Ole is like incantation. Iwe is different from ole. Iwe, role give yoye. Iwe is like those olden days kind of ritual you made to deities. So let incantation, or what you guys call prayers, be your worship. Why is it that in the morning there is something that is very synonymous? Those of you stay in the village, when you go to the farm, what rejuvenates your body? The dew. The dew reminds you that I was the reason why you are still walking. That is why when my grandmother, then in Iyede, even the one in when he wake up in the morning, she does not take a bath in Iyede. She does not take a bath. When my house, the dew go bath me along the road. So when everybody rub the dew, you rub the dew, you rub the dew, you rub the dew. She was so powerful that she could literally, she was the only woman that can see Onogwenya and touch Onogwenya. Onogwenya was the deity of my village. In Iyede, we have different communities that have different deities. The Erweni, they have their own. Onogwenya is the deity. It comes from Alagba. That's our own. My mother is the only one I can go and touch. If the deity does not, you guys call it masquerade. If it does not come and carry your child, you can't just go. We play tortoise back. My grandmother was so powerful that people literally know that he goes to Kovu. I stayed with him. That time my grandmother go to cook. You know Taba? Go drop for the soup. We shop everything they go. She never used 200 naira till she died. It took 5 years for them to convince her to use 100 naira. And according to my father, they begged my mother, when Nigeria changed the currency from pounds to naira, she was still carrying pounds to the market. They said, we cannot collect this. He said, no, it's shit. You are shitting me. You are bringing another paper for me to use. No, this is what we need. I've visited different burials in Isoko after my grandmother was buried. But my grandmother was the only one that was buried. A woman was buried. And they would cook owo with fish, goats with blood. And the dead body was put at the middle of the road. And the road was closed. And women and men were coming to bow to worship. It was later they told me that my grandmother was a living deity. He said when we go there, while we are sleeping, the woman will be walking around the whole of Alagba. He said she was. I said, no wonder our house is the first time you get to in Alagba. People bought land. They built at the other side. But you see this other side, the left side. Yes, the left side of Alagba. You can never see any house till today. My father's house is the first house till today. You want to die? Try it. So when I call my uncle, say, we want to buy land. He said, which side? Left side. I said, no buy. Go to Iyede town. Iyede. From Alagba, this other side. Anything that goes there must go down. except you get goat to kill. Why Jesus Christ not destroy him? Jesus cannot powerful enough to destroy. Okay, I get it. African, you are not righteous enough for a savior to come. God say, you know what? I want to save the people of the world. After I've rejected the people of the world and pick only Israel people as my only chosen people, the all good God chose only one community and leave the innocent people that just born and don't know nothing to perish. Then from there, want to save the whole world now, to call the whole world his children. You can't go pick person when with already they feel inferior about. Just make a savior, just put that there. You want to make the person savior, you can't see, you say crucify him. There was never a time in the history that a Roman was crucified. It was the blacks that were slaves that would sin and steal out of hunger that were crucified. So Joshua was not an Israelite. He was a Kemetic soldier who was trying to rescue the Jews who were the original black from the torment of the Roman. The Israelites you see today are one with Rome. They are the same Italian. It's just an Steiner. That country was just given to them after they were being maltreated and persecuted by what? Why? Is it not the Germans that were persecuting the Jews? Yes. Why? Because they were the Romans that colonized the world and brought Christianity to destroy what we are doing today. The foundation of the religion that brought about Christianity, they were the same people. They were the same people. Because Israel, look at their texture. Israel. Who get internet here? How come Israel, their texture is different from the actual Middle East? Because it's a breed of the Mesopotamia, the Greek and the Roman. It's a mixed breed. So the Israelites you saw, you say the Israelites, they went, no. It was the Africans that they transported from, where's my laptop? I don't know whether this thing get CarPlay. They transported, let me show you this thing. Bring my laptop from up. Remember the Kemetic spiritual system. Let me show you guys something. You guys will be surprised. When they prepare their food, if I give them, when they give them food, may they eat.